What about your friend? And what do you do when they're here today, but gone tomorrow? Come on. Mixing two songs from two eras. Let's go. Let's go. So you know the songs about friendships and you know the songs about breakups, probably, but guess what? We talking about friendship breakups today in the Power Portal. That's what we doing. We fusing the two because I truly believe, and I have a few other people who I know listen to this podcast who I know truly believes the same, that friendship breakups can be worse than romantic ones. And I think there's several reasons for that, especially when you have a strained relationship with your family, that your friends aren't just your friends. They are your family. They become your family. They become your family. And when you break up with these people, it feels like a severe loss. So we're going to be talking about that today and exploring with that today. And I say weird because you and I are in conversation. I just can't hear you. But there will be moments that I would love for you to pause this podcast episode and ask yourself these questions and reflect on those friends and reflect on those breakups, and how they feel. I think another reason too why it can feel like friendship breakups are just the worst because there's no societal expectation or like support group culture around this type of breakup. There's movies and songs about romance breakups and all of that. And there's no pinnacle for friendships like a marriage is for romance. So you have these friendships, these deep family type friendships, these deep soul bonding mirror reflection friendships, and then they end. And then what do you do? Now, let me be transparent, y'all. The word friend is used so loosely. It's used so loosely. And so when I'm referring to the friendship breakups in this podcast, I'll be sharing some personal experiences. I won't be giving names, but I will be sharing some personal experiences that I've experienced over the last 5 or 6 years. Because there's a reason why I'm talking about specifically the 5 or 6 years. We'll get to that. I don't have surface friendships. Some people have surface friendships and they use the friend loosely. They're just like, oh, we talk every now and again. I talk to you about real basic shit. We friends. That's not me. I don't have surface friendships. If you're the type of friend that I'm referring to in this type of podcast, I know your shit, your deep, dark, ugly, raw, vulnerable shit, and you know mine. We go deep. We co-create a safe place, that's safe in place together. We co-create a safe place together for us to speak with no filter. I also don't have backhand bully friends or frenemies who connect off of hating on each other and teasing each other, secretly wanting each other to fail, and jealousy is a thing. Ew, don't do it. Nope, not for me. So if you are like me and you don't have those types of friendships, you have the type of friendships that are deep, that are family bonding, this podcast is for you. Now, if you do have those type of friendships that I talked about that are toxic and that are surface, it's still for you because maybe you need to tap in, okay, and figure out why the hell you like that, why you be keeping friends like that around, but I digress. So you have this deep bond with this friend. They know your shit, you know their shit, and you break up. Right. And so it's like, now what happens to all the shit? It's still there. I still hold these deep, dark secrets. I'm sure you hold these deep, dark secrets. And now we're no longer friends. We're no longer in each other's lives. And that's hard. That's really hard. So I'm going to go into some personal experiences first. And like I said, I'm not going to name any names, because it's not about them. It's about the power that I was able to retain for myself. Because just because you quote unquote lose friends does not mean that you get to quote unquote lose you. And that's where the power is. So often our friends become those mirrors, they become those reflectors, they become those people who allow us to heal in deep ways that when we quote unquote lose them and they're no longer in our lives and they are released, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be friends with anyone again. I'm never going to tell anyone my things anymore. And then our trust dilutes. And we'll get to that too. So let me share some personal experiences so we can connect. We can get comfy and cozy, and I'll share and just make you reflect on yours. It'll be great, but not so great because these are friendship breakups, right? So I had a friend where I call this friend my mirror friend. We were so connected. Like it was to the point where it was like, yo, like we definitely vibrated in another lifetime. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fuse some characteristics so that way it kind of muddies like who this particular friend is, because as soon as I started to think about this friend, I thought about another friend who I also don't speak to, and I'm like, this relates as well. So, you have those friends, and that's like, this is the spiritual connecting friend. And so the friend who, you get them and you see them, y'all don't even need to speak. Like y'all just get each other. You could be around each other and laugh and connect and bond and vibe. And y'all have such a great time. And when y'all leave each other's presence, you reflect on it. You like, yo, that's my nigga for real. That's my nigga for real, right? And you connect. And when that type of breakup occurs with people who I have this deep spiritual connection with, this deep emotional connection with, and once again, I have these connections relatively with each of my friends. However, I'm the type of person, I have different dynamics with people. So I may have a friend who we go super deep into our spirituality. I may have another friend we might go deep into like astrology, which is an extension of spirituality. I might have another friend where we go really deep about health and wellness. They're all deep, but just in different ways. You know what I mean? Yeah, catch my drift and come on back. So when this breakup happened, and I'll go back to thinking about the original person. When this breakup happened, it was very out of nowhere. Like I was like, oh, we was good and then we not good no more. Like what happened? Like you and I were on good terms. Or so I thought. And so that breakup came out of nowhere, and I will get to the like friendship ghosting because that's a part of it. And I've done it to people, people have done it to me. But I will just say that this spiritual connection and that type of friend, like I said, mirror, you know, um, party together, like curate community together. I put you on. What's up? Let's go. Support me, like that type of friend. And I was just like, damn, we really not friends no more for real. We really not friends no more for real. And so in that situation, because I'm going to go back between friends who have broken up with me and friends who I've broken up with. So in that situation, this person ended it with me, right? They broke up with me. And yes, there are a variety of other friends who could be listening to this because, you don't talk to somebody, but they be listening to your shit who that represented a spiritual connection. That type of friend. Um, then I had another friend who definitely like we would just go so deep. Like I feel like my mental health is where I really was able to flourish in this friendship and this friend too. Like we bonded and connected over therapy and we bonded and connected over, how we like when things would happen in our lives, we would be like, okay, so what can we take from that? What are the lessons here? What are the ways that we can grow and challenge and expand? So it was like the friend who I thought we would always be friends because the type of friendship that we had was such a reflective, like we growing, we seeing each other, we congratulating each other on our growth and our growth mindset. Like here today, gone tomorrow. Now this friend, I ended it with, I felt that was important for me to draw a line on how I deserve to be treated. And I don't feel like I was being treated in a respectful way. And sometimes, for me, I don't need a lot of instances for me to see who you are. I see how you move in a particular way. I ain't fucking with it. Ain't good for my healing. then I'm going to remove you from my inner circle. And that's what I did. Here today, gone tomorrow. Now, I'm thinking of two particular friends in this scenario. And this kind of gives hope to the people who's like, but what about people who want to come back in your life? What about those people? What about those people? These two friends, and I'm going to loop them together. These are friends who I didn't respect their partner. Like I lost respect for their partner. And when you have a partner who you live with, you know, you create with, you are intertwined with, I understand that if I have lost respect for your partner, that means that I have to step back. So these two friends, I stepped back from not because they did anything to me or I to them. It was simply, or not so simply, due to their partner. I don't fuck with these partners. So I had to step back. Now, these two friends are back in my life and third A, yay, yes, all of that. And I'm super excited to have them back in my life. And it just so happened to happen as a result of them no longer being with those partners. I knew that I wasn't able to have those friendships anymore. Because guess what, y'all? If I don't fuck with your partner, and let's say I'm having a cookout at my house, I'm going to invite you and not your partner. So now that creates tension in your home. I don't want that. I want my friends to be at peace. And so I will bow out. I will remove myself from a situation. And I always prayed about those two particular friends. Like, if they're meant to be with those partners, like, have them be with those partners, and I'll have to just I have to bow out of that friendship. However, if those partners are not for them, remove them motherfuckers so I can get my friend back. And that's on period. So that's never something that I wished for. It's something that I was like, look, let destiny play out as it is. And I will welcome my friend back into my life with open arms. And that I've done. I've done that. Because like I said, it's no hard feelings towards my friend who was with that partner. I have to let that be because I've had to make those sacrifices, right? I know what that's like to be in a dynamic and the partner doesn't like the person who you have in your life. I get it. And guess what? You got to choose your peace. You got to put you first, Lucius. Yeah, I switched it around. Yeah, I did. You got to put you first. And so your peace, your household peace is top priority. Me, I'm going to be here. If y'all in, I'm going to be here. No, I told you souls. And that's what happened with that. And I'm really grateful for that, like, boomerang, what's meant for you going to come back to you type of situation with these two friends, because I truly, truly miss them. Like, there's certain friends, and I'll get to that I don't really miss, that we don't talk, and I'm like, okay, like it does not impact me. But those particular friends, not having them in my life was really hard because I loved and missed them so much. And I also knew it wasn't because they did anything to me. It was just circumstantial, you know? So yeah, those friends. And then I want to get to a friend that she broke up with me. Like, that was a friendship breakup, but she ended it where she was, and I can get a little bit more into detail because that's like a while ago, but still, it was still in my 30s, it's my early 30s. I'm in my mid to late 30s now. Yeah. But in my early 30s, this happened where I had a friend who was um giving she was in her first trimester with her first child. And she had a lot of complications. And she would call me and talk to me about her complications. And I had a party coming up. And literally, I'm hearing my friends talking about how, like, she's not able to walk around. And, like, her first trimester was really kicking her ass. And I was just, like, there to support her, there to listen. I'm like, what do you need? I got you. I felt like I would have been rubbing it in her face to be like, I know you're going through all of this. I'm about to have a party. You want to come? It would have felt weird. And I felt like I would have been put her in a predicament where she would have now had to be like, damn, I'm gonna try to make it. And I didn't want to put that pressure on her. So that was my thought. That was my thought. And this friend saw that I had a party. She saw like on pictures or whatever on Facebook that my cousin had posted. And she was like, why you invite me to your party? Like, what happened? And I told her the reason. And she was like, that's not a reason. You should have given me the autonomy to make that decision for myself. Now, in that moment, I was so big on like, I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was trying to protect you to even make that decision, right? I wanted you to prioritize yourself. She broke up with me, have not spoken to her since. Like, right. And that was a friendship that I had for about 10 years. And so that was really hard for me. However, I totally get it. As a person who respects autonomy, I totally understand why she made that decision. And honestly, I don't fault her at all for it. I'm like, more power to you. I wish you the best. I hope that you're doing well. She ended that relationship, right? She didn't like the way that I moved, and I get it. And I'm being vulnerable because y'all, friendship breakups it's not just the people we break up with, but the people that break up with us. And how do we sit with that? How do we sit with the fact that we let someone down? Right? Another situation where a friend broke up with me was I was on Instagram Live and I was sharing a lot of my radical views because I'm a radical girl. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, this person who, I considered a good friend, like, just wasn't interacting with me. And I was like, wait, where did this person go? So I go on social media, I'm blocked, or unfriended, one of those. And so I went to go text her and I was like, hey, like, I saw you unfriended me, blocked me. I can't remember the like specifics. And she was like, well, this is why I did it. I don't like the things that you said on this live. I don't agree with this view. This view pertains to me. And I was like, okay. Now, if it applies to you, I can understand why you would feel some type of way. I would. However, I still feel those feelings. And she knew I had those feelings while we were friends. And it always applied to her. And so I understood and I didn't fight for it. I was like, heard, thank you for letting me know. She was like, I wish you the best. I was like, so do I. I understand. And that was the time I was broken up with. And the reason why I understand is because some people, they're not able to understand that you have views that are radical, that do apply to you. And they do make it that there's like some sort of diss to y'all's friendship. Like, how could you feel that way and still be friends with me? I totally get it. So all I have to say is my radical differing beliefs and views made this friend be like, bye, Sajul. It's fine. Speaking third person, it's fine. And I mean that because I truly believe in people's autonomy and choosing the type of friends they want. And I wasn't the type of friend that she wanted who has these radical views. Totally get it. Totally understand. So that was that. Right? No love lost. Like, do you, boo? Best of luck. Because I don't wish everybody best of luck. Some people I really don't wish best of luck. I don't. But these two people that I'm giving those specific scenarios to, I truly do wish them well, which is why I'm making that scenario a little bit more specific because other people I don't wish well. Like, I'm like, I hope you get the life you deserve. That may mean up or down. And I'll end with this last one as a scenario because y'all in my business. Y'all in my business. Welcome to the Power Portal. This last friend breakup is interesting. I was friends with this person. They were in a relationship and their partner felt like that I liked them. And it's interesting because this friend was like just not like I literally look at this friend as a family member. Like it was, but anyways, I'm laughing because I keep thinking about the age dynamic of this friend specifically, and I remember looking at this friend as like a younger sibling, like for real. So when I heard romantic, I was like, what? Like it was even deeper than just that's my friend, what you mean? But genuinely, like, nah, like, this is not even someone who I even see in that kind of way. Um, and never would have because of the age dynamic, that type of situation. Like, they were of legal age, y'all. They were of legal age, but the age gap was a little too big for me. For me. And so I never looked at them as that. And I think that they looked at me. Well, I don't know how people look at me, but I felt like our dynamic was very big sibling, little sibling. So, anyways, their partner didn't think that that was platonic, and they could have sworn that the way that I supported them seemed like, nah, she must like you. And I'm like, no, I genuinely just love this person and want to support this person. And never did anything to disrespect this person's relationship. And this person knew that. But they called me one day and their partner was in the background and they were like, we can't be friends anymore. And I was like, okay. And, they explained why. And I was like, all right. And that was sad, y'all, because I was like, I didn't even do anything. And they knew it, but I also, once again, you got to respect the peace of your household. If your partner is, what's the word I could use? If your partner has inclinations and they're inclined to believe that something is happening and they just strong and wrong with it, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And I want you to ask yourself, what would you do? And we want to tell ourselves, like, no, I'm not good. But the peace of your household matters. All this social media shit, all this whatever, but like who you wake up to and go to sleep to, prioritize that peace. I've had to do it. I've been on the giving and receiving end of this. And when that friend called me and told me that, I was hurt, but I respected it, And so I was broken up with. Okay. Here today, gone tomorrow. Okay. Um, And I share those personal experiences because I want y'all to know that I'm coming from a personal place. The Power Portal is all about coming from a personal place. They all hit home for me. All of these topics that I've shared thus far and that I will share, they all hit home. They all real ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And these things are real. They impact you. They, even as I'm talking about them now, I'm like, damn, I'm thinking about those feelings of what the friend gave while they were in my life and also what that felt like to no longer have them in my life. And some people, I'll get to, I be missing. Other people, you know? Now, I'm a life path number 9. And for my spiritual people, for my numerology people, life path number 9, we're really good at beginning things and ending things. We understand the cycle. We understand the flow. We understand that, things will have a beginning and an end. It will start and it will finish. Like, we have a healthy relationship with that kind of life or death kind of vibe, right? That fresh energy and then that energy, that stale, dry, no longer there energy. We understand it. And I think that it really didn't come to the forefront for me until I reached my Saturn return. Okay. The spiritual people understand that certain age between your late 20s and your early 30s, that is your spiritual awakening in your adult years. That, oh, baby, the shedding, the releasing. Because the reality is, if you really think about it from a spiritual way, in a power portal type way, because this podcast is about awakening, it's about thinking about things from multiple perspectives and really doing that internal work. Part of the spiritual awakening process is understanding that no one is lost, they are released. They don't belong there anymore. We cross and uncross paths for a reason, season, lifetime. Some people are there for a reason, season, lifetime. Right? I think everyone is in our life for a reason, whether they're seasonal or lifetimers. But I understand that concept in that trio type of way. And when I think about it, it's like, this podcast episode, I'm talking to people who are in their Saturn return and after their Saturn return. Because friendship breakups, y'all, that occur like middle school, high school, early college, like they're going to impact you. They are. However, late 20s, early 30s and up, that's who I'm talking to. Because this spiritual awakening that's happening is also happening as you're rediscovering yourself. Or for some people, not even rediscovering, but discovering who you are, discovering your purpose, discovering your path. So as you're discovering your purpose and your path, some people who you thought was supposed to always be there, they can't come to the next level. Some people just can't come where you're going. And we can't force people to be in our lives. I'm not going to sacrifice my self evolution, right? My path, my journey work by keeping people around who aren't supposed to be there. When people want to leave, I make space for them to leave because that is part of this the self evolution. I pray, right? My prayer is to remove those people who don't need to be in my life. And I be like, "Oh, this person? Really?" Every single person who I have released from my life or they've released themselves specifically in my spiritual awakening process, because once again, that's what this podcast is about. So it's for the 28s and up, right? And then real juicy, real vibes when you have left your Saturn return, okay? Like me. And now you can look back at what was happening in your Saturn return, and that hindsight being 2020 is real. So if I make this prayer to remove people who are not supposed to be there, and then these people remove themselves and I remove them, then well, that's the spiritual work. Sweep, sweep, vacuum, vacuum, Swiffer, sweeper, got to go. Bye-bye. So let's think about this. It could sound a little cold because sometimes it is. And so it does make space for, do you miss people when they go? For me, some people I definitely do miss. Some people I sit there and I'll be like, damn, we had some good times. Damn, remember that joke? Damn, remember that time we went here? Damn, remember that time we did this, right? And it's so beautiful. And other people, I don't miss at all. I'd be like, that shit ran its course. Like it, and honestly, it stopped working for a long time. And we was just trying to keep it together. We scheduling these FaceTimes, we're scheduling these calls, but like, baby, we no longer are vibrating on the same frequency. So you gotta go. Right? I don't miss everyone who's no longer in my life. I'm gonna be very, very honest about that. And there are friends that I do miss. And I ask myself, and I would love for you to ask yourself, for the people who you miss or not miss, ask yourself what missing feels like. Do we really miss these people when they leave? Or do we miss the feeling and the memories that we shared with them? It's giving nostalgia. So, what I do is think about replacement behaviors. What else can give me that comfort? What else can give me that nostalgia? Right? What else? And how can I honor the memories without rekindling it with that person? Because not all people, while I may miss you, I may not want you back in my life. Right. And then there's other people I miss. And I'm like, maybe if you're meant to come back in my life, like I shared earlier, then you'll come back. But that's like the 5%. That's so minimal of the people where I'm like, if you would have come back around, great. But most people, spiritually, you had to go. Because spiritually, right? I think that let's think about it spiritually in terms of people who gotta go. Remember those friends I said that, we fell out because of their partners and they came back? Spiritually, that's what had to happen in that season. And spiritually, what had to happen in this season of my life and in their lives, they're meant to be back in. That's a fact too. Because not all things that are closed must be closed forever. Mind you, this is minimal. This is adding nuance to the conversation because I have spiritual fluidity. I don't believe that everything is black and white. The spirituality falls within the gray. Right. And so as much as I am, 10 toes down for like, yeah, if you ain't got to be in my life, you got to go. I also know that there's a small small percentage of people who will come back into my life as friends because in this season, we're supposed to be friends. And in that season, when they left, we weren't supposed to be. Get what I'm saying? Are you too spiritually flexible to be able to hold both? Yeah, hope so. So, if you want to break up with someone, right, as a friend, you want to have a friendship breakup, think about the people who no longer foster your growth or your healing. Think about the people who you have different ideas of fun, and different isn't always bad. But if I'm in an era of my life where fun for me is going to a lounge, eating some good food, smoking a little hookah. You know, I'm in Atlanta, so it's the hookah. Getting my nails done and being in bed by 10 p.m. And your idea of fun is going out at midnight to start the night, doing drugs that I don't partake in, and then ripping and running the street till 5 a.m., then those different ideas of fun might be a little bit of a challenge in our friendship, because what you want to do is happening at a time that I'm asleep. And what I want to do, you might be like, oh my God, it's so early. So then now we're not clicking. Now we're not vibing. We're not vibing anymore. Because oftentimes when you are at different phases of your life with your friends, that's where you can find a little bit of some separation and some distance, right? Like, I think about the stage where I'm at right now as a married person. And, I could have friends who are, like friends who I've had before I was married and they're single. We're going to still be friends. Absolutely. But when I think about new friends and friends that I want to build with in a particular way, I am open to having those friends who are in deeply committed relationships, who are married, who are engaged, because we're having particular conversations because of where I'm at in my life, which we'll get to. We'll get to the type of friends I'm open to, right? We'll get deeper there. But that's a little snippet as to sometimes the phases where we are in our lives might reflect our friend groups. And once again, I don't mean all my single friends became my friends someone. That's ridiculous. Before I met my wife, those people were in my life. So I'm invested in their lives. Okay. I'm like, what apps you on? What's up? Yeah, how that's going? I'm invested in that. Right. Because we already had that level and that layer of connection. Absolutely. Right. And when I welcome in new people I meet in 2024, people, you know what I mean? And beyond, I am looking for new friends to have some similarities to where I'm at right now. Get it? So let's talk about the friendship fade outs or fallouts, where it's not necessarily where y'all are breaking up. Maybe it's more so they're demoted. Like, it's giving friend to associate. It's giving, we don't talk all the time. Maybe we don't talk on the phone. I had a friend who we used to FaceTime, and um we just started to fall out. Like, we started to fade a little bit, and they wanted to FaceTime again. Like, let's say it was like a month or two in between the FaceTime, and they was like, hey, you want to hop on another FaceTime? It's been a minute. And I was like, actually, I don't really want us to be that level of friends anymore. Well, you could just like text me if you need something, if I can support you with something cool. But like, I essentially demoted them from being a friend to an associate. I don't want to keep people around and FaceTime people and have that level of a friendship. Because if I'm in person with you, if we're hanging out, if we're FaceTiming and if we're on the phone, that's like, we're close friends. Right. And then if we're texting only and we don't call or whatever, you're a friend, but it's a little, it's layers, it's levels to this shit. Does not mean that I necessarily love you less, but that means that we are connecting in a different way. Right. And I can't leave out voice notes, because if I'm leaving you voice notes too, yeah, we connecting in a particular way. So I demoted that friend. And I know there's people who've demoted me too, because I've had friends who I'm like, dang, we haven't spoken in a minute. And they just we've kind of just faded out into the background. And then I want to talk about friendship ghosting. You have no idea why y'all are no longer friends. You go on social media, blocked, unfriended. You go to text them, you have an iPhone and it shows up green. Nothing. I've shared this before. I've been on the giving and receiving end of a lot of this conversation. I've been on the giving and receiving end of ghosting. I have ghosted friends. They don't know why we don't talk. They're like, I don't know what happened. And I had to do that. And then people have done it to me. And because I've done it to people, I've been like, you know what? They had to do that. And I have a healthy relationship with it, even though that should be alarming. So, fun story. So, I was throwing a party last year, right, for my album release party in New York. And I was like, all right, let me go. This is so wonderful. It's so funny. I was like, let me go on my Ratchet Realm page, my archived page for my party space for the Black queer and trans community when I was in Brooklyn doing those parties. And I was going through everybody who, I fucked with back then. And I would say, I'm laughing because it was like, what? I would say 25% of the people that I went to go invite to this party one-on-one, because I go through and I invite people one-on-one, they unfollowed me or blocked me. I was like, I don't even, and mind you, not all of them were friends, but maybe we were like party friends. Maybe people were like, I'm inviting you to your party, you invite me to the party, we party together, and like we vibe, we click, we follow each other, and all of a sudden, we're IG friends, Facebook friends, IG friends, party friends, that type of shit. Right. And I know I said this podcast is going to be about like the deep friendships, but also this taught me something about like ghosting fucking sucks. To ghost people, I think it's not easy. People be like, I don't give a fuck, I ain't gonna talk to you no more. It's not easy to ghost people. And it's not easy to be ghosted, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And so the same way I've had to do what I had to do by ghosting people, because I just couldn't communicate and share what was going on. When people do that to me, they have the agency to have me no longer in their lives. And on social media, it makes it real easy. You gotta do is unblock or unfriend. Text message, you gotta do is block. That's it. WhatsApp, block. Venmo, block. I mean, I'm like, damn, I ain't even know we had beef like that. I thought we was cool. Here today, gone tomorrow. So how do you heal from it? For me, I give myself space to grieve. And I know that healing is not linear. I know it has ups and downs. I know I'm going to have good days and bad days. I know I'm going to have times of the year, instances and things that happen that I'll be like, damn, this friend would have really been supportive during this time. You give yourself space to grieve. You take time to reflect and focus on you and do what you love and pour into you. Listen, hermit mode and solitude, that it's more than okay for me. That is my healing zone when I go insular and I go in hermit mode and I go in solitude mode. I honor the positives. What did this friendship do to help me? What did this friendship do to move me along in that particular point in my life? That really warmed my heart because I just thought of a really, really, really bad romantic breakup that I had a couple years ago. And I had an amazing group of friends. And none of those people I'm like friends with today. Some I'm cool with, but like some of them I'm not. But I was not able to cook for myself. I wasn't even able to stand up straight. I mean, it was so hard. And they came over to my house with flowers, cooked me food. We had wine together. We laughed. And I was so poured into. And I honor those positives. I honor the ways they showed up for me. I honor the ending and I give myself closure. I pour out a little liquor for the homies, who were once in my life and who's no longer in my life. And even though they're alive, but I honor what they were and I give myself the closure. Because like ghosting, you may not always have closure. I have gratitude for all of the people and still have those gratitude, right? Like gratitude for the people that are in my life and gratitude for those who were in my life, but like recognizing that what I have and the people I have in my life are enough. Sometimes we focus on and yearn for something that is out of reach right now. And what would that look like to revel in the joy of what's in front of us. What would that look like to revel in the friendships we do have? What would that look like to celebrate the people who are still here? You were able to have tough and challenging conversations with, and they're still your friends, right? How do you honor those people? And lastly, what I do to help my healing is I assess the health and boundaries of my current relationships, right? And I don't bring trust issues or hard feelings into those current relationships or new relationships to come. I assess the health. I'm like, how can I be a better friend? How can, like, is my current friend group the ones for me? I mean, it always makes me assess, and I always land on gratitude and appreciation. How can I be a better friend? How can I show up? How can I take accountability for the ways I've harmed people? You know, I'm a trusting person. Even though I've been through shit in my life, I don't enter things where I'm like, you're gonna do me dirty. You're gonna do me dirty. You're gonna do me dirty. I genuinely believe that people will do me right. And then I don't trust you when you give me reason to not. But like for the most part, I go into it with like good vibes and like good energy. So I don't have these lingering trust issues. Now, am I alert to things? Yeah. But I don't go into it being like, you about to break my heart, you about to break my heart, you about to break my heart, and you gonna do me dirty. No. Because it's important to make new friends. That whole no new friends shit is bullshit. Research have shown that it's important to replace your friends every 7 years. Research has shown that, right? And I think that's interesting, right? And I'm not saying that after 7 years, I'm like, all right, friends, gotta get out. But research has shown that, that only 30% of our closest friends remain tried and true after 7 years. Okay. And only and 48% remain in our immediate social network, meaning we actually talk or hang out with them on occasion. That's 30% and 48%, y'all. Let's get into it. So I am discerning what the type of friends that I want to have going forward. I want to have the type of friends who we can take accountability if we caused harm, that we communicate with each other, we go deep. I don't want surface friendships. We got to be able to like go deep into our shit, and we got to be able to hold each other down. We create soft spaces for each other to land. We create vulnerability with each other, right? We can laugh, have fun with each other. We can cry with each other. And we understand that the friendships that we have is one that is destined. Like we're meant to be in each other's life. And we try hard to be lifetime friends, right? That's the intention. I don't go into my friendships like, oh, this is about to be seasonal. This is about to be about 2 years. No, I want to go in with longevity. I go in for that, right? And I want those friends who want that longevity with me. I love my low maintenance friends. I'm not the one. Listen, y'all, my phone be on do not disturb for every motherfucking body. I don't be wanting to be disturbed. I have my schedules, I have my routines. I like my headspace to be in a particular way. And I'm not the friend that you can just like call whenever, right? And I appreciate those friends who I can do that with, but I know from my mental health and access points, I need to set up. So I appreciate those friends who like to set up a calendar invite with me. Thank you so much, friends. I have some scheduled FaceTimes this week and calls this week, and I appreciate those friends who understand that about me. They know that we're not gonna call or text every day. I have one best friend who we speak once a month, and let me tell you, we go so fucking deep. We speak on the phone for like 2 hours, and it's so rejuvenating. It's transformative, and it doesn't need to be daily. Sometimes we go 2 months without speaking. So those low maintenance friends who understand that if we don't talk and text every day, I still love you. You still love me. We still got each other. And as I close out the power portal, I want you to remember two things. That no matter how hard friendship breakups are, you still deserve friendship. And the second thing is And the last thing, second and last thing is you have not met everyone who will love you yet. You have not met everyone who will love you yet. There are people out there who are waiting to love you, waiting to hold your deep, dark secrets, waiting to cry with you and laugh with you. And you don't want to count them out because you have not met them yet. And you still deserve the love and friendship that they can bring. Thank you for listening to the Power Portal.